Well, good morning, Kicksters. Welcome back to the Morning Kick on this Thursday morning. Really excited that we're going to be able to help you today make your own content. And one of the most impacting ways you can do that is with video. Our guest is Julian Mather. And Julian, thanks very much for joining us on the Morning Kick. Appreciate you bringing a little bit of magic into the room. And this is a guy who has been a career as a Defence Force sniper. He's been a magician. But you've had an incredible career behind the camera, working for some very big names over the years.
Yeah, look, it's been a journey. It's not really been by design. I'm always an opportunist. I just look, that looks interesting. I think I'll go down that path. So started off as, I always say I did really well at school if you don't count learning, which led me to my, first one of my first careers as an army sniper. But taught me many things. The biggest thing that it taught me was that simplicity leads to reliability, leads to a greater chance of success. And that whole idea of building simplicity into everything I do has gone through every other career reinvention that I've had. So I got out, and what I wanted to be was a photojournalist. So I became a documentary cameraman, and I worked for ABC TV and National Geographic and BBC and Discovery. Went to amazing places, but the thing was, it was the people in front of the camera who influenced my thinking so much so that I walked away from television at the top of my game and took an idea, a program into schools to teach philanthropy to school children. It was a commercial failure. I had to earn money. So strangely enough, I became a magician, did that for 5 years, went into running online courses, learned about that. And now I've pivoted because I helped all these people who were stuck, who wanted to become performers. And now I've taken that same psychology and I apply that to the world of video, because we are in the video age. And as businesses, we need to be using video, but we're not doing it. So what's going on? And a lot of the problem is in here in people's heads, because they don't believe that they are entitled to do it, or they're the right person to do it. They're holding on to this 20th century mindset, which is quite frankly way out of date. We've moved on to agile, inexpensive, authentic video. People want out there now. They want truth. We've lost truth in big government. The churches have let us down. The banks have let us down. Governments let us down. We're going human to human in our need to connect with each other and get information. Now, who is more suited than you out there to talk to your customer or client about what you do? We're just doing it now in a new form, and that form is video.
It's amazing, Julian, isn't it? That over the years, it used to be that you put a microphone in front of somebody, they stopped talking. But you put a coffee in front of them and they kept talking. And now we've got the same issue with video. Here we are. We could go out, you and I, meet for the first time, and we can chat over a coffee and cake at Coffee Club. But as soon as somebody brings out a video, it's like, oh, I don't have a right to speak. How do we push through that?
Yeah, and I call it the glass wall. So, how do we push through that glass wall? So, I had to work out a new way to teach this video. So I've teach this process in a process of heart, head, and hands. So first of all, your heart has to be in the right place. It's about believing you are the right person to talk to someone, and nobody knows your stuff better than you do. And I love that coffee table analogy. That is just exactly how it's meant to be. When you go and sit at a coffee table and you talk to someone about a holiday that you've been on, everyone starts to animate and they talk, oh, we went there, we did this. And that's how you connect on video. But as soon as we see that camera, our lizard brain kicks in, and we're very protective about, we don't want to lose the status that we've spent all our life achieving in our workplace. And we figure that when we go on camera, we're not going to be as good as we present ourselves in our workplace to be. And we self-judge ourselves, and all of a sudden it's just this cloud that we can't break through. So the first thing that you've got to do is just be willing to speak your own truth. And that is what you speak to your customer or client to help them through.
That's really good advice. And you actually have been doing this for some time. I know that I've watched many comments on LinkedIn that talk about the enthusiasm that you bring into a room. You get people excited about video. They actually actively do things themselves within a very short space of time. And I think one of your examples is what you can do in 5 to 10 minutes on a smartphone. Now we know these things are now our passport, our bank balance, but they're now our video production company. So doesn't matter which one you've got. If you've got a phone and it's ready to go, make sure that you get it out there and start using it. Julian, is it fair to say that anybody with a smartphone the last 2 to 3 years should be able to do something that's actually going to get their video message out?
I would say anyone with a smartphone that's not a Nokia brick can get their message out. So any smartphone probably within about the last 5 years, let's say from an iPhone 6 onward, just around that period, the lens you have on your smartphone is better than the Hubble Space Telescope. So that, I mean, just to put that in perspective. So it's not the technology, and it's never been the technology. It's been the message that gets through. And I did an example. I did a study of this for over 25 years, and it was with my wife sitting next to me on the couch. So I would travel away to the other side of the world, and I would be on my hands and knees under the Pyramid of the Sun in Mexico, sweating, getting this amazing stuff. A year later, it would finally go to where she would watch it. I'm sitting there going, isn't this great? And she's going, oh, yeah, yeah. And as soon as somebody else came on screen and two people were talking, she'd go, who's that person? Who's that person? How do they know each other? And after watching this for about 20 years, I penny finally dropped. It's not about the technology. It's nothing about that. It's about the human to human connection that goes on.
That is absolutely brilliant. So let's say that I want to know more. I want to get the best out of my smartphone. You've got a couple of options for me. Now, with COVID happening at the moment, you do have an online course. But for anybody that's planning on getting their marketing department or maybe a group of people to know how to use their smartphone and video better, tell me about the corporate courses that you've done.
So I go on site into medium to larger businesses, to organizations, and to governments. And I take the teams, and what I do is I knock them on the side of the head and I go, you've been thinking in a 20th century way about video. There's a 21st century way that you can do this now. So I make it engaging. And again, I get their heart and their head involved, and then the button pushing becomes easily. So I show you how you can use your smartphone to make a video immediately that you have about 10 3-second shots. And I take old school discipline that is out there now that I've grown up with, and I apply it to the AI intelligence in a phone, marry them up, and it's amazing what you can get out of these things these days. It's just become so user-friendly now, and it's becoming more and more user-friendly.
Now, one of the things that Julian has also done is created an online course. Now, we've got the description in both the YouTube and the Facebook link, so have a look at the description. You'll be able to link through. Julian, thanks very much for putting that together. If people link through and head here, they're going to get your virtual masterclass. Now, is this kind of like an introduction, or is this a full course? How does this work?
It's 35 minutes, and what it does, it's the strategy part of it. And again, I keep talking about this 20th century mindset. Most businesses have no idea where video is moving and the new options that are out there. And so video hosting for business has matured over the years, and there's all these new functions and features that you can be using your video, your smartphone, and hooking up with these services and connecting with customers and clients in face-to-face conversations. Here's the whole thing, and people haven't got this yet. That, like in the whole sales process we go through, you have all these touch points that lead to a face-to-face meeting where maybe, hopefully, you do business. Video takes that face-to-face meeting and puts it back at the start of the sales process. So it shortens sales cycles dramatically. So this masterclass takes you through, it paints the bigger picture out there so you actually understand what you can do with video now. And then if you want to take the next step, I've got a range of different courses at different price points for different reasons, and it may suit you in these COVID times. Or like I like to say, use COVID to go vid.
I love it. Very nicely put. And people can link with Julian on LinkedIn as well. And listen, already we're getting some comments coming into the show. Leanne Hughes, who was with us just the other day, is saying, love Julian's work. And this is the kind of enthusiasm I'm seeing all over the place when Julian's there. We saw Mandy just a little while ago sharing that. Brilliant, great speaker and teacher. I think that's something really as a compliment to you, Julian. Sometimes we can go along to something and think, wow, I'm impressed, but did I learn anything? I get the impression that people actually come away actually understanding what to do next. Listen, one of the things that I know can be overwhelming, we covered that pretty much apart from that Nokia brick. Any smartphone will do. But then I come back to all those apps. There's video editing apps all over the place. If I come to one of your courses or do your introduction, am I kind of going to get some recommendations that help me with those choices so that I don't get lost in the forest?
I give you specifics down to which to choose and which buttons to push. I've spent the last so I literally spent 30 years out there doing it, and I've spent 2 years now refining it down to the Pareto principle. What's the 20% that you need to know that's going to give you the 80%, the best results you're going to get? So I give you the absolute specifics, but I'm all, like what I know, Andrew, is that much of what's out there. So I love other people going out there and doing this and then giving me the ideas back, and then I repackage that and use it to help people on their video journeys.
That's absolutely brilliant. So, can you give us some examples of industries or workplaces that are actually using video now? How are we connecting with clients? What are some good examples of how I could take video and use it to reach a client or to maybe foster a customer relationship?
So sales teams, I mean, sales is really in any organization, the first place is not marketing that you want to be using video. It's sales, because salespeople are already talking to customers. So classic example, what's the one problem that, most salespeople have? They have to answer the same questions over and over and over again. So the Pareto principle in reverse. It's the 80% of the same, questions. So what you can do is you can make up a little series of almost like FAQs. And what you can do is you can have them in one of these hosting for business sites. And when somebody, wants to talk to you about these same questions, is you can send them these videos. Not only are they a good use of your time, because video is asynchronous, it means that you don't have to, do this dance of trying to get a face-to-face meeting. You can both easily consume it in your own time. But the video is concise, because, quite often we're telling people and we waffle and we go off on tangents. If you make a video, you can make these videos on point. So that's like a great first use for video in any organization that has sales.
Absolutely brilliant. Where do you see video going in the future? Is it something that we should be aware of, any new channels that are going to start opening up? Is anything going to change on the phone?
Not any new channels. I mean, the way that we sort of see it going, which is on here, we only have to look around to see that we are a society that's addicted to the convenience of smartphones. And we all know that it's too fiddly to operate text on a smartphone. So we're evolving a new way to communicate on smartphones, and that is video. And you just look at the video usage that is going up. So I've got this thing. Okay, we can do it now. So there's currently 1 billion hours of YouTube viewed. Is it every year, every month, or every week? So virtually have a little think. Is it every year, every month, or every week? Bah, trick question. It's every day. And that is pre-COVID, or so says the Wall Street Journal. So the interesting thing is that if you're going to buy camera gear, hold off, because the leaders in video for the future are not Canon and Nikon and Leica. It's Google and Apple and Microsoft and the people who make smartphones. The AI in these is making video literally, in a word, dummy proof. It's so great that we can go on here and now just tap a button and have a pretty darn good chance that we are going to get decent looking video out of that. Add that to the AI that's going into all the editing apps. All you need to do is input good messages and stories, and the technology is working itself out.
I think you're bang on. When you look at the way in which Google have their channels going out, Apple with Apple TV, one of the things I love about Amazon's Prime Video is that now when you're watching the movie, they actually tell you the actors that are in the scene right there and then as the movie's going through. They're not on my smartphone while I'm watching the movie. But then I can imagine that the next step is we're going to be able to have all of our links through to email, through to websites, all embedded in the video. So the
That's
video is
already there
creating a
now, Andrew.
relationship, and then we're connecting through. Yeah, I just guess it's going to become more and more common, isn't it?
Yeah, so all these, and that's what a lot of people don't realize. Video hosting is traditionally, we think of YouTube and Vimeo, and they're all great services, but they're public services. For there is now all this video hosting. So organizations like Vidyard is one. They do this video hosting for business. So if you're a large organization, you want security, so you can have all your videos behind a firewall, and then you want automatic captioning. You don't want to have to go through that process. This is all being involved. And you can put your links in. So as you're going through and talking about this product, listen, if you want to know more about this, tap the screen now, and you can link directly to things. That's all available right now.
Julian, you've opened up a whole door of opportunity for us. Thank you very much for joining us on the Morning Kick. Make sure that you do visit julianmather.com. In the link, there is the opportunity to go through that masterclass. Check it out, 35 minutes, and you could find that you're actually becoming the next Steven Spielberg. Julian, we'll have to get you back again in the future so that we can have a talk about what's around the corner.
I appreciate the opportunity.
Well, wasn't that brilliant? Really getting an insight into how we can use our mobile phones and actually start creating video. You could be doing it today. Hey, the weekend is just around the corner. How about setting aside some time and doing that? Now, remember that the Thriveall plan is still available for you to download. We've had an incredible amount of business people responding after they've looked at the Google Doc. And so there you go. You go to excitemedia.com.au/thrive, and you'll be able to download that free Google Doc with all of the checklists, the tools, the resources, and 7 easy to use action templates to help you assess what to do next in your business during COVID. And one of the things that we're offering is a free opportunity to go through the process with us. But here's a special offer for tomorrow on the Morning Kick. We're actually going to go through the Thriveall plan together. So this is the document. You can actually download yours right now by going to excitemedia.com.au/thrive. But when it comes to tomorrow, I'll walk you through all of the things that you get within the document and give you some ideas on how you can use it. I look forward to joining you tomorrow. And we've got some more guests lined up for the weeks ahead. It's been good having you on the Morning Kick.